We in LA swimwear. Okay, cool. Now I got that. Did you switch the mic from your MacBook to at least go to the house note? No, that would probably be better. How do I do that? Customization, perhaps. Or is YouTube the one where you basically have to end the stream in order to change any settings? For real? I think so. Could be. I know a lot of people who are just like, damn, let me change something in the stream. So that's up to you. Do you feel like it's necessary?
She's already on.
Yeah.
We have Q&As.
Huh?
Q&As.
What's that?
Like the IBT, like the RBT, wait, awards.
Really? Where?
QBT.
QBT. Okay.
Yeah, we didn't have that option in our.
Really?
Yeah, but she put it on the application. Is there two of us?
Hey, Nikki, how you doing? Okay. Have you met June? This is June.
Well, 1 second. No, hi, we've not met before. Hi, I hear good things.
Yeah, it does. So go to where it says share screen at the bottom. Click on window. So I think if you go to Chrome tab and then you put, is there a way for you to put that in your tabs, like to add the talk to your tabs, and then click on tabs. Yeah, and then that way you could click on Chrome tabs and then hey, good morning, and then it'll pull up right.
Morning.
Hold on 1 second, let me see. 11:20. What time do you want food to be served? After the 11:20 break or yeah, the snacks and stuff.
Oh, then we can do that at break. Do you we have a 15-minute break?
You want to do it at the break?
11:45.
The break is 11:20 to 11:35. Okay. Were you able to get it, Nikki? Hmm? Some tea? Oh, the guy made this for me. That's what you said. Yeah, the guy. The guy. Hmm? Do you do that a lot? Hey, then you can see it. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay, we're gonna get started here in a little bit. How have you been? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing to prepare you for it. But yeah, we'll get started here in about 5 minutes or so.
Do you have any power outlets?
Power outlet.
Okay.
So if you just like scroll up like this,
Okay. Okay.
if you just scroll up like this, you can see like everything, and then there's Google Chrome.
Okay.
We already have everybody in there.
Yeah.
Maybe I could get Akita to do it. Akita.
Yeah.
Akita. The microfiber? I need your help with something. Can you sit in my seat and then let people in the Google Meet?
And then like just be like on the chatting so that they don't feel left out. Like right now you can tell them, hello everyone. We'll start in a bit, waiting for a few people to come physically. Just like that. Yeah. I don't know how to remove that sound. How do I do it? That's your TT, right? Yeah. So hello everyone. Welcome. Like, that's
Shut up. People like you. Hey.
yeah. Hi.
Yeah, could you email them to me? I'll just pull them up.
Hi. How are you?
Yeah, you guys were busy when I came in.
You want to email them to me and I can just pull them up?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have a I can just tell mine.
Yeah, I'm connected through Apple. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like welcome. Like things like that. You're in front of the camera.
I said hi when I came in, but you guys were leaving. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's okay.
I don't need to
Okay.
This is Kita.
Hi.
This is June. June, have I introduced you already to the live? Yes. Okay. No, and this is Luis.
Welcome. That's it. Welcome. We've set it up.
I hope when I came here, because
Tell them we'll get started in 5 minutes.
I've been holding this coffee for like an hour. It's cold. Jackson, Jarvis, at Gmail, right? Yeah. I'll be like, yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What hurts? Oh, yeah, wait, that's you that want to go to the. She's like, why did you make me do that?
So I'm like, but do I hold it like this? Like my laptop or what?
What's the best way to set up this camera? I want them to be able to see the audience, and the speakers. Back it up.
Maybe at the back. How high?
Oh, that's good. Higher. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, no.
I was like, you should be. You're connected.
Good morning, everyone. Can everyone see me in the live?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hi, I'm Jerry Jackson. I am a board certified behavior analyst. Today, we're doing voices in behavior and mental health conference, the first one. I believe that this will go on quarterly at some point, and we have a lot of big dreams with it. So, first, I want to get started off with how do we get started? So, Louise and I, the person who helped me set up this in June as well, we just having a conversation. We're trying to come up with some ideas of how we could bridge the gap between caregivers and people who need the services, as well as like other people who just need the services in general, right? Like mental health services as well as ABA. So we just started talking about how could we do that. And the idea came to set up some form of forum or some form of conference that we could have on a quarterly basis, so that way we could just kind of get together with one another, as well as talk about some ideas as to how we can get solution-based care and care in general. So that's one of the goals, is to bring awareness and to create that safe space where we can have conversations. Also to just get together and talk to one another about different ideas that we may have. So in the field of ABA, so I am from the United States, and in the field of ABA in the United States, we want to make sure that we have ethical practices, right? And those ethical practices are going to be something that is going to decrease the problem behaviors and increase the behaviors that we want to increase. And that applies to any person or any organism, as well as like with the mental health side of things, which you'll hear from someone named Nikki, who is in the mental health field as well. And that is going to be, something that we talk about with people in the older age range as well. So some future engagements that we plan to have is, I know we're talking about the virtual conference that we may have for more so for professionals. That will be next month, hopefully. So we'll send y'all an email about how you can sign up for that as well. And today we try to make everything as free as possible. We will have food at 1:30. So we'll have food at 1:30, but everything else is free. We wanted to make everything free for y'all today, so that way we can just start doing these things and bring awareness as much as possible in the community of Nairobi and just in ADA community in general now. So, any questions for me before we get started? No. So the first person we have is Ashley, Dr. Ashley, and she is a well-renowned BCBA. She's been in the field for a very, very long period of time. Someone who I look up to in the field, and she's going to give us an amazing presentation.
Yeah, we're good. Yep. You went all the way up?
It needs to be on like, we have to download it.
Yeah. And then go to present. Where the hell is present?
Yeah. Okay. Is this microphone okay? Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Ashley, and today we're going to be discussing the future of ADA, neurodiversity, empowerment, and belonging, shifting from compliance to compassion in autism intervention. I'm truly honored to be here with you today for this long overdue Nairobi forum for ADA. Thanks, Jared, for setting this up for us. My journey into working with children with autism first began in 2013 during my time as a volunteer at the Autism Awareness Care and Training Center in Accra, Ghana. This was the first center for children with autism in all of West Africa, founded over 27 years ago by the amazing Sarah Quaynor. Auntie Sorwa has so much passion for this work, and her mentorship really lit a fire in me and guided my path ever since. So today, I serve as the founder and clinical director for Africare ADA. That's based right here in Nairobi. Our mission is to expand access to ethical, evidence-based care for children with autism across East Africa. I also identify as neurodivergent. I have ADHD, and that part of my identity has deeply influenced how I think, how I learn, and how I show up in this work. It's what drives my commitment to neurodiversity affirming care, care that protects dignity, celebrates differences, and centers the voices of those that we serve. This forum is an opportunity to do something really powerful, to step out of our silos and build something greater together. This is a field that's constantly evolving. with new research, new voices, and new ways of thinking emerging every day. And we need spaces like this, spaces for collaboration, for growth, and shared vision, so that we can rise together and better serve the community that we care about most, neurodivergent individuals and their families in Kenya and East Africa. I'm hopeful that this gathering marks the beginning of another lasting space where our science can grow into a movement rooted in inclusion, partnership, and possibility. Can you guys see the slides, or am I standing in front of them? I move over now. Is that better? Okay. So before we dive in, let's take a quick look at our learning objectives for today. We'll begin by exploring the principles of neurodiversity and what it means to practice neuroaffirming ABA, centering respect, autonomy, and lived experience. We'll also dive into the outdated and potentially harmful ABA practices and reflect on how we can move away from them. Next, we're going to shift into from functioning labels to a more nuanced and multidimensional kind of understanding about what autism is. And finally, we'll rethink and redefine how we consider success, focusing less on compliance and more on quality of life and independence. These points will shape our discussion as we work towards more affirming and effective ABA. All right, so let's start with something really foundational, understanding neurodiversity. So neurodiversity basically means that differences in how brains work are natural and valuable. Not broken, not something that needs to be fixed or cured. It's like biodiversity in nature. You wouldn't look at a cactus and say, oh no, why aren't you a palm tree, right? Different doesn't mean bad. It means needed, it means beautiful. Now autism, and I really want to emphasize this, is not a disease or a tragedy. It's just a different way of experiencing the world. Sensory input might feel bigger, social communication might look a bit different, emotional regulation might need different supports, but different is not less. When we celebrate neurodiversity, when we actively create spaces for everybody's brains, we build stronger, more inclusive communities. Not just for autistic people, but for everyone. Because a world that works for neurodivergent people works better for everyone else. All right, let's keep going. So now that we know that brains are supposed to be different, let's talk about what it actually means to affirm that. The neuroaffirming movement basically states that autistic people don't need to be changed to fit into the world. The world needs to change to fit them. Historically, a lot of interventions, including parts of ABA, have been about making kids with autism act normal, or what we're taught in grad school, indistinguishable from their peers. Instead, neuroaffirming practice is about supporting people to be their authentic, true selves. It's about honoring stimming, honoring different communication styles, even if that means scripts, AAC devices, or no speech at all. It's about prioritizing autonomy, dignity, and joy, not just compliance. If your intervention only works when a person hides who they truly are, then it's not a good intervention. Neuroaffirming ABA shifts the goal from fixing behaviors to building meaningful, empowered lives on the individual's own terms, not ours. And honestly, it's just a lot more ethical. It's also more effective. Really, it's this simple. When people feel safe, they feel seen, they feel supported, then they will thrive. All right, so if you ask most people to picture autism, this right here is probably what they're gonna see. They see a straight line from low functioning to high functioning. Or maybe they think in terms of level 1, level 2, level 3, or labels like mild, moderate, severe. But here's the thing, this model is outdated, and it's harmful too. Functioning labels like high functioning or low functioning are super misleading because they don't actually tell you anything about a person's real life experience or what supports they actually need. They just tell you how comfortable a non-autistic person feels around them. A person might be considered high functioning because they can talk, but they still struggle massively with sensory overload. Or someone might be labeled as low functioning because they're not speaking, but they have deep, powerful thoughts and emotions. They just can't express them verbally. Labels flatten people. They erase complexity, and they deny people access to support or autonomy based on whichever side of the spectrum some professional decides that you're on. So today we're tossing this model out the window because autism is not a straight line, and human beings are way too rich, too dynamic, too beautifully complex for a single label to ever define them. So if autism isn't a straight line, what does it actually look like? It looks more like this. The autism spectrum is multidimensional, kind of like a color wheel. Each slice represents different areas: sensory processing, communication, executive functioning, motor skills, emotional regulation, you name it. And the intensity or the strength in each area can vary very widely from individual. Someone might have huge sensory sensitivities, but be really strong socially. Someone might need a lot of support with communication, but be incredibly independent with problem solving. It's dynamic, it's beautiful, it's human. This is why functioning labels don't work, because they're way too one-dimensional for something as complex. Instead, we focus on individual support needs, like this person needs help navigating transitions, or this person thrives best when they're using visual schedules. We focus on contextual strengths, like this person is amazing at building deep connections, or this person sees patterns that nobody else can see. We honor self-expression, however that shows up for the individual, because the goal isn't to change the colors to all match. It's to let every person's individual colors shine. So now that we've ditched the old model and we've embraced the wheel, let's talk about what we can actually do differently in our practice. Yeah. Historically, and I say this with a lot of care, ABA has focused heavily on teaching kids to look typical. Not to be happy, not to be confident, not to be themselves. Just look normal. A lot of early programs focused on things like making eye contact, even if it was painful, sitting still for long time, even if their bodies needed to move, and imitation, copying behaviors just to fit into a neurotypical mold. There were also a lot of suppression of natural behaviors like stimming, hand flapping, rocking, scripting, all these things that actually are incredibly self-regulating to neurodivergent and autistic people were seen as problems that needed to be eliminated. Being quiet, following directions, blending in, even if it meant sacrificing emotional well-being or autonomy. When we zoom out and we look at that, it's pretty heavy, right? We have to own that history, and we have to actively do better, because our goal is not to create little robots who blend in. Our goal is to build people up, to help them live authentic, joyful lives on their own terms. We're not here to shame the past. We're here to build something better for the future. All right, so now that we've looked at the past, let's focus on where we're headed. Contemporary neurodiversity affirming ABA looks very different from these traditional compliance-based models. First, it supports autonomy and respects communication differences. That means no more forcing eye contact, no shutting down stimming, no assuming that speech is the only valid form of communication. We honor whatever communication the individual naturally uses. Gestures, AAC, scripts, because it's all communication. And second, goals are chosen with families, not for them. Gone are the days of therapists walking into a room with a set of checklists and a clipboard. We collaborate, we listen, we co-create goals that are actually meaningful to the person's real life experience, not just to make adults feel comfortable. And finally, and this part is really important, we're building skills for a joyful, independent, and authentic life on the individual's own terms. Because success isn't about looking normal. Success is about feeling empowered, valued, and connected exactly as you are. This right here is the future of effective neurodiversity affirming ABA. Let's take a moment to walk through this table together. It represents a meaningful shift between how we approach ABA, not a rejection of our goals to support growth and learning, but a reimagining of how we do that in ways that truly center the needs and the voices of autistic people and the clients that we serve. So traditionally, ABA emphasized on compliance, getting children to follow instructions, often without considering whether those rules were personally meaningful or respectful of their autonomy. In a neurodiversity affirming approach, we shift this focus to empowerment, helping children find and use their voices, supporting their choices, and honoring their own unique lived experiences. When it comes to social skills, older models often aim to teach neurotypical behaviors. Think eye contact, scripted greetings, small talk. These goals were usually very well intentioned, but they often taught masking rather than connection. So today, we focus on authentic communication, building mutual understanding and relationships that honor the child's natural way of interacting with the world. Stimming is a powerful example of this shift as well. Where it was once discouraged or redirected, we now understand that stimming is a valid form of self-expression and is very needed for self-regulation. Unless it's clearly harmful, it's not something that we would target for reduction. In terms of how we structure sessions, traditional ABA really focused a lot on discrete trial training, which is highly adult-directed, repetitive, and focused on external control. But in the neurodiversity affirming ABA, we move away from this discrete trial training method and lean more towards natural, meaningful child-led interactions, where skills are explored in real-life contexts and not drilled into compliance. And when we talk about success, we're no longer aiming to make a child indistinguishable from their peers. Instead, we're asking, are they safe? Are they heard? Are they happy? Are they thriving as their true authentic selves? This isn't about rejecting ABA, it's about evolving it. We can still be evidence-based, but still be ethical, affirming, and centered on what truly matters to the clients that we serve. Now that we've seen the big picture shift, let's zoom in and get really clear about some specific practices that we know today are harmful. Historically, things like forcing eye contact, forcing physical touch, and forcing kids to sit still were considered basic parts of our therapy. But now we know that this is not best practice. Forcing those things can actually cause real harm. Imagine being told that you must stare into someone's eyes when your brain is literally wired to feel overwhelmed and for that to feel painful. Or being told to keep your hands still when rocking or fidgeting is how your nervous system calms itself down. When we suppress harmless stimming, things like hand flapping, scripting, and rocking, we aren't just removing a behavior. We might be harming a person's ability to self-regulate and feel safe in their own bodies. So what's the goal instead? The goal is to make therapy a safe, affirming place, a place where kids and adults can be themselves, explore who they are, and build skills without fear of punishment or judgment. Because when someone feels safe, real learning can happen. And when someone feels celebrated, real growth is possible. A joyful life is the ultimate goal. Not quiet hands, not eye contact, not fitting in. Let's talk about something that should always be at the center of ABA, families as empowered partners. Parents know their children best, not the therapist, not the program supervisor, not the admin team, the family. You as the parent and caregiver are the expert in your child's own life. Your culture, your traditions, your values, and it's our job as professionals to respect that expertise and not to bulldoze it. Therapists should be guides, not guides and collaborators, not commanders. We're not here to run the show. We're here to offer tools, share knowledge, and build strategies together. That's why in neuroaffirming practice, we co-create goals. We sit down and ask, what are your hopes? What are your dreams? What matters most to you? Because real goals, meaningful goals, aren't just skills checked off on a clipboard. They reflect the family's vision for a joyful, connected, and independent future. So now I really want us to focus on how we define success. Success is not just the child learning to talk or sitting still or making eye contact on command. Those might be pieces of development for some kids, but they're not the full story, and they should never be the only story. Truth about what they want, what they like, who they trust, how they want to move through the world, and guess what? Emotional growth is just as important as academic growth. Friendships are just as meaningful as math skills, and self-advocacy, being able to say yes, no, I need a break, I want something different, that's real success. Because a person's worth is never measured by how close they can adhere to neurotypical norms. Their worth is already there. Our job is just to clear the way to make it shine. So when you think about setting goals, let's move beyond milestones. Let's build something for futures that are full of connection, joy, and choice. So if we're moving beyond milestones, how do we actually measure success in a way that honors the whole person? One important tool we use is social validity. And that basically means asking, does this feel right to the family and child? Not just, did we complete a program checklist? Or did they master a target? But is this goal meaningful to their real life? Does it reflect their hopes, their values, their happiness? Because real success, real progress, should include emotional well-being, belonging, and joy, not just skill acquisition. And here's the heart of it all. The child's voice must guide us. Even if they communicate through gestures, AAC devices, pictures, scripts, whatever the mode is, their communication matters. Their preferences matter. Their boundaries matter. If we ever find ourselves moving forward on a goal that the child clearly resists or is distressed by, that's our cue to stop and to listen. Because the real data, the most important data, isn't always in the spreadsheet. It's in the connection. It's in the consent. It's in the smiles, the calmness, the moments of yes. That's how we know we're actually doing it right. Finally, I want to share a message specifically to the behavior technicians in the room, because I know there's a lot of you here. You're not the ones, you are the ones who are working directly with the child. Not the BCBA, not the admin team, you. You're in the room. You see what works. You see what feels right. You know when something uplifts a child and when something strips them of their autonomy. So if a supervisor suggests an outdated method, something rigid, something that demands compliance over connection, you don't have to just go along with it. Because ABA isn't sacred. And tradition isn't a good enough reason to keep doing harm. We're not here to shape children into something they're not. We're here to support them into being who they already are, with compassion, with curiosity, and with care. In Kenya, this work is still taking root. And the way that you show up in the hard moments, in the quiet choices, in the everyday interactions, that will define how ABA is understood in this country, in this region. This is bigger than data sheets. This is legacy work. So challenge what doesn't fit right. Ask the hard questions, be bold, be loud, be kind, and never forget, your client needs you in their corner. Every moment you choose compassion over control, every time you say, this doesn't feel quite right, you're not just changing a session, you're changing the story of ABA. And the story we write together today, right now, this is what will define what the field becomes. All right, let's wrap up. So to wrap up everything we've explored together today, diversity is natural. It's not a mistake to fix. It's a beautiful part of humanity that needs to be celebrated. Second, traditional ABA must evolve. We have a responsibility to center the emotional well-being, the autonomy, and the dignity of the clients we serve, not just compliance. Third, neuroaffirming ABA is not optional, it's essential. When we respect culture, we collaborate with families, and we celebrate individuality, we build interventions that actually work, because they actually matter. And fourth, success isn't a checklist. It's not eye contact, it's not quiet hands or blending in. Success is belonging, it's joy. It's the freedom to self-advocate and to thrive. And finally, our true goal is simple. create safe, empowered, joyful spaces where every autistic individual feels seen, valued, and heard exactly as they are. Because that's where real change happens, and together we can build that. All right, that's it. Are there any questions? Yeah? All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ashley. That was great. One of the things that I love that she talked about was how we should focus on basically the child and how can we, so there was a training that I did with a guy named Dr. Greg Hanley, and he talked about happy, relaxing, engaged. And when I write programs for my kiddos, I'm always thinking about how can I keep my kid happy, relaxed, and engaged, because if he or she's gonna be happy, relaxed, and engaged throughout the session, that's gonna make it a lot easier for me to ask them to engage in communication and things of that nature. So I love that talk that she talked about. She talked about is like focusing on communication, and then like, what does success really look like for your kiddo, right? I think a lot of times, I have 2 children myself. A lot of times as a parent, you kind of look at it like, I want my child to do this. But then in reality, your child is their own individual selves. So I think focusing on, what's good for them. How can I get communication up for them? How can I, do the things that I know will help them in the future without me putting myself into it and trying to say, okay, I want you to do this because I know this is how other kids are doing things. So I love that talk. Great talk, Ashley. The next person we have is Nikki Holmes, and she will be on the laptop. And she is a great BCBA, one of the people that I kind of look up to in the field. One of my mentors. She doesn't know she's my mentor. She just I kind of forced her to be. But she's great. She's been in the field for a very long time. She's also practiced in Nairobi as well, and she's in Nigeria right now. But we'll pull her up in 1 second. Yeah, we can hear you.
I think you're good now.